And we're back, and stick close to your TV because you're about to hear a lot of things you may not know about some of our friends and neighbors, brothers and sisters just south of the border. Our guest on this segment is Francisco Treviño. Francisco, welcome, my friend.
Thank you very much, Sam. It's nice seeing you again.
It's good to see you. We're going to be talking today, and as I've told you, my Spanish is lame, but I love the food. Anyway,
That's okay. My English is not that good either.
yeah, between the two of us, we'll make this work. We're talking
Yes.
about, is it Casa de Cultura?
Yes, Casa de la Cultura, nonprofit organization, a Hispanic Cultural Center in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
You're the executive director there. What do you folks do?
Well, Casa de la Cultura was created about 3 years ago, and of course, obviously, we're going through the process of fixing our facilities, but obviously, last year was because of the COVID, we stopped everything. We've been doing a lot of events in the community in the past years, events like Wonders of Mexico at the Broken Arrow Performing Arts Center. We partner with other organizations like Gilcrease, Gathering Place, Guthrie Green, AHA, Woody Guthrie Center, all these organizations, cultural organizations. And so right now we're just basically finishing our cultural center so we can start having like art classes, music classes, dance classes, poetry, literature, and just about everything that you can think of. Also skill set development, that is teaching artists how to make money, how to make a business out of their art. So there's a lot of little things working around the Casa de la Cultura so we can get it out to the community, and the community can support Casa de la Cultura Hispanic Cultural Center.
You know, it sounds like to me such a worthwhile endeavor. And so many folks in this part of the world say, "Oh well, I know some Mexican folks," and I think they don't.
No,
Uh,
I think a lot of people, especially the Hispanic community, the new community, is that they kind of tend to keep to themselves. And so by reaching out to the entire community and showcasing our culture, not just the Mexican culture, but Central America, South America, I think people will get to know us a little bit better, and they would understand a little bit better more about us, more about me, and because everybody enjoys Mexican food, obviously, but they don't know the culture, and we're very sensitive about the culture. We just finished with the Cinco de Mayo festival in Broken Arrow, and the city of Broken Arrow partnered with Vega Treviño and Casa de la Cultura to do the festival because they wanted to be sensitive to the culture. And I applaud the city of Broken Arrow for doing that, because by having a Cinco de Mayo, it's not about celebrating with a beer in your hand. It's about celebrating other cultures.
exactly, exactly, and that was well phrased. Thank you for that. Uh, I have often heard that music can soothe the savage beast. Uh, and I have discovered as I've lived this life of mine that music from other countries can teach us a lot about the cultures in those countries. Because if you start to, it's one thing if you listen to it, it's quite another if you research it. Same thing applies to any form of a creative endeavor from that country. That has to apply to the organization, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Because with Casa de la Cultura, it's not just about seeing or experiencing our culture, it's about to know the history of how that dance was created or how that song is created. For example, in my case, I concentrate on Latin American children music, but the traditional music that dates back long time ago. For example, musical games that my grandfather used to play in their neighborhood, or my uncles and aunts. And even when I was a young kid, we would play these games, by tradition. But now I concentrate on the tradition, the history behind that tradition. Some of these songs that that I'm learning about that my grandfather used to dance and used to play. I mean, I'm back from the late 1700s or even early 1700s, traditional songs from Spain. And it's kind of interesting to learn all this about our culture because we grew up with this. And so with Latin American children, which I think is a dying breed. I mean, children are not growing up as kids anymore because they have a cell phone or a tablet and they don't get out to play out in the street anymore. And so we're trying to bring that back or so the parents can experience that with their kids as well.
It's an interesting thing because you share that attitude with all of the Indian tribes in this country who are trying very hard to keep their language alive. Is Spanish suffering? Is the language suffering as well?
Yes, because a lot of the kids are not wanting to speak Spanish. And this is one of the reasons why with Casa de la Cultura want to concentrate on giving poetry classes and literature classes so they can at least practice or know their language. A lot of the classes that we're going to give will be given in Spanish, even though some instructors may be non-Hispanic, will be teaching some of the classes in English, but our focus is for the kids to take the classes in Spanish. And this is going to be open for anybody, African Americans, non-Hispanics, to take some of these classes so they can learn more about our culture.
I know for a fact that there have been a great many folk from Mexico who have come to this country and went on to serve a distinguished career, for example, in the military, who had a brilliant career in medicine, in sales, in any number of endeavors. And yet there is so little that folks in this country know about them. Are there plans to help introduce, I don't know, some sort of way to let folks in America know more about folks from Mexico?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we have them here in Tulsa, and and a lot of them live in Claremore, here where the RSU TV is. There's a lot of business owners that have businesses in Tulsa and all over the Northeast Oklahoma, but they kind of tend to themselves, kind of a low profile, but they do contribute to the community. They contribute by creating jobs. But a lot of people don't know that, especially the non-Hispanics. A lot of people, what they think whenever they talk about Hispanic culture, they think of somebody jumping the fence or crossing the border undocumented. But we're more than that. We are here. We are part of the community. We contribute. We pay taxes. We create jobs. And people may not see those people, but we are here. And this is our home, and we love Oklahoma. And one of the reasons why we want to keep our culture. And we try to spread the word of our culture so that they can get to know us a little bit better.
Hey, my friend, we are out of time. I want to thank you for taking time out of a busy schedule to visit with us and to ask you, is there any possibility that down the road you might come back?
Of course. Anytime you ask,
right.
Sam, you know me. I'm pretty easy. So.
Okay, my friend. Hey, thank you.
Thank you very much,
We're all out of time,
Sam.
folks. Thank you for being a part of it, and we'll see you next time.